GM. GM. Today, the lesson is going to be on, guess what? I don't know if you were watching the charts today. I'm sure you were. We had a little bit of a down move. And if you listened really closely, at about 5:30 p.m. UTC, you could hear the sounds of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of desperate retail traders blowing their accounts up. 100,000 people, maybe 1 million people all over the world who had put in just another $1,000. They just loaded another 1,000 in. They promised themselves they wouldn't do it again. They promised themselves this would be the time they made it. They promised themselves this would be the time they hit big. But that's the 10th time they've done it now in the last few years. They've blown up a bunch of accounts. They just wish that they had spent the last 3 years since the end of the bull run last cycle, whenever they got wrecked, right? When they got liquidated on their first account. And then they stayed around in the bear market and tried to trade on high leverage to make it back. And they kept depositing more, blowing it up, going away, having to work for 2 months, make money back, put it in again, blow it up, go away. Shorting all the way through the end of the bear market and going into the bull market. Desperately trying to fight the trend. Trying to flip from long to short every day or every week. And the worst part is, now they sit with Bitcoin at 60k after a dip. With Bitcoin at 60k after they've been liquidated. After they got liquidated. Bitcoin is at 60k. Not at 20. Not 30. This wasn't a crash. This was the greedy, impatient idiots getting themselves taken out of the market. The worst part about this is they have to sit there and realize, I've been in crypto since, let's say they're in since September 2021. 3.5 years. 3.5 years they've been in crypto. They came in late in the last bull market. Okay, got wrecked. Okay, we all do. We all get wrecked in our first bull market if we join too late. But then they tried to trade it, tried to make it, tried to leverage, tried to grow an account fast, tried to listen to all these dickheads on Twitter sharing their massive P&Ls of leverage. All these pricks on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube telling you that you just need this magic course or these trading signals. Or you have to do this special fucking voodoo with some price action, order blocks and all this institutional algo wanker bullshit. And they listen to all these frauds and scammers and fucking idiots who lead them down the wrong path. They follow people on Twitter or on YouTube who have millions of dollars or claim to have millions of dollars. Most of them just use inspect element or demo trading, but they post massive P&Ls. So I want to do what he's doing. And they read the threads of the influencer says, how I grew $1,000 into 7 figures. Newsflash, they fucking didn't. They're lying. The reason they say that, the reason they say 1,000, it's always 1,000. It's always 1,000. It's always 4 figures. You notice that? All the success stories. I started with nothing. How I turned 4 figures into 7. Do you know why they say that? Because if they said 10 grand, it wouldn't hit with their target audience. Their target audience is broke people who want to get rich quick. People who have a couple of $1,000 and they're hoping to get millions in crypto. If they said, the people who write the threads, the people who do the YouTube videos to get all the clicks, if they said how I turned 25,000 into 200,000, which is actually what people do, right? That's pretty, that's realistic in a bull market. That can happen. But that never, ever, ever happens. They don't get clicks on that. They don't post that because A, their target audience doesn't have 25,000, so they can't put themselves in their shoes. And B, growing 25 to 200,000 doesn't sound great whenever Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok is full of people saying 1,000 to 1 million. Here's how I did it. And now look at it. They've been liquidated again today because they tried to turn another $1,000 account into 1 million. And it didn't work for the 10th time. Now, if any part of that rings true to you, maybe it's not 10 times for you, maybe today was the second or third time, maybe it was the first time, maybe you fell down those traps before. Understand that what's in the past is in the past. And listen to me. I have zero reason to lie to you. I'm in a very privileged position. I don't have to market this place. Tate does it for me. I don't even have to be here, but I love being here because I love teaching. And I like to give back. And I get great sense of satisfaction from helping people and seeing them. But the way I help is not by saying, buy this, here's this 100x altcoin, here's this magic formula. No, I'll say, work hard. Build better habits. Be disciplined. Understand probabilities, the law of large numbers. Start small, learn cheap, and understand it's going to take years to become a good trader. That's not sexy. It doesn't sell courses. Thank fuck I don't need to sell courses. So I'm not saying even listen to me. If you listen to me, great. I'm just saying I'm laying out the fucking table here. I don't need to lie to you. That's why you get the actual truth from me. All this shit you see is complete nonsense. Is there somebody out there who's turned $1,000 into $1 million? Yeah. One person. There's also plenty of people who've won the lottery. It's survivor bias. The vast, vast, vast majority do not do that. So the people you see online flexing these big P&Ls, some of them are real traders, probably 5%. Some of them are lying. They're just outright lying, fake screenshots. Some of them are rich kids who don't want to say they're rich and it's just their daddy's money. They're just LARPing as a trader, but they have $1 million trust fund. So yeah, they can have $1 million P&L, but it's just like a 2x. Maybe they bought Bitcoin at 30, now it's 60. Yes, I made $1 million. But they don't. It's not cool on Twitter to be the rich kids who are like, oh, I grinded this up from 1,000. No, you fucking didn't. You're full of shit. And it really frustrates me because I know I started with nothing, like just in life in general. I made it, every dollar I have, I made it myself. I wasn't given money. I didn't grow up poor, but I didn't grow up rich. And I have been broke more times than I can count. Dozens of times throughout my life where I had zero, got a bit of money, back to zero, got a bit of money, dropped back. You know, I was a broke student. I was broke working. I was driving forklifts on night shift. I was working, laboring on building sites. I started a sales job with $0 in my bank account. Then I made my first real money in sales when I was like in my early mid-20s. But from 16 to 23, I didn't have any money. Broke. I remember after uni, so when I graduated, or between uni ending and graduation, I went to Thailand and I had 600 euros to go to Thailand for 3 weeks. And I went and I managed to make it last 3 weeks. 50 baht, I think it was 50 baht, it's a long time ago, which about around the time was €1 for chicken and fried rice. I would have chicken, fried rice and a bunch of fucking beers every day. I'd spend 10, 15 euro a day. Go down the beach in fucking Koh Phangan and buy those buckets with the shitty, toxic, like fucking floor varnish that they call vodka in a little bucket, but it's only like €3. I know that feeling very fucking well. And I guess luckily for me, I trading wasn't a thing back then. I didn't like get into trading at that time. I ended up making my money first in sales, where I actually had to work for it. I understood that you don't get anything out unless you put in a lot of effort. And the most frustrating thing I see about all this is that it's really easy to avoid these traps. And sometimes you just need to hear it, which is why I'm saying this. The worst thing about the guys I described at the start of this lesson, the worst part is the regret of sitting back knowing that they've blown up 10 different accounts over the past 3 years, which means they've got $0, right? They've got $0, but they've been in the market for 3 years. And now they're saying, if only I had have just not traded and just bought coins. If I just bought Bitcoin, if I just bought altcoins and did nothing, that 10 grand, the 10 accounts I blew up, that 10 grand could be 50 or 100 grand right now. And that's the really important part. That is the part. If you're at that point where you feel like you've wasted the last few years because you've blown up accounts and you've not saved and your money hasn't gone into the coins and it hasn't compounded, you've gambled it away. It's very easy to just say, well, fuck it. I'm going to just try again. And you go again with the leverage. Please don't. It's never, ever, ever too late. It's never too late to start investing and trading properly, which is go and work hard, work a bit, work a job, work overtime, start a side hustle, join one of the campuses, save whatever money you have, right? Make more than you spend every month and just save it. Just get that money and put it into whatever investment you think, whether it's Bitcoin or an altcoin, spot, and just focus on the long term. You're not going to miss the bull market. Everyone thinks they're going to miss the bull market. But if you've spent the last 3 years getting blown up on accounts, what do you think is going to happen in the next 2 years if you keep the same way you're going? You are going to miss the bull market if you do that. You are going to blow up more accounts. You are going to end up in 2026 with no money. Or you can start now and commit to learning how to trade systematically, learning how to be a systematic trader, how to have a process, how to focus on the long-term compounding. It's the rest of your life you're looking at here. I've gone up and down at the start of my trading. I made money, I lost it. I made money, I lost it. I made money, I lost it by trying to trade, by trying to use leverage, by trying to trade too much in a bear market, by trying to short at the start of a bull market and getting wrecked and blowing accounts up, small accounts, thankfully. But even then, when I stopped blowing them up, I bleed money away. I would lose money. I would lose too much because I'd be trying to over leverage. I'd be trying to turn $1,000 into $10,000 in 6 weeks. Buying Bitcoin and letting it go up 50% wasn't enough. No, I had to get 20x leverage because I had to get that. Instead of getting 1,000 into 1,500, I want to get the 1,000 into 10,000. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. The longer you do that, the greater the probability of failure. It is never too late to start trading properly, to start respecting money and respecting the markets, and to understand that other people are still going to do this. The same people are always going to be there. There's always going to be 90% of people who think they have to push the leverage because they don't have enough money, in air quotes. Enough money. It's never enough. It's not the money, it's your mindset. And if you just accept that now and say, okay, I might only have $1,000 or $2,000. I might not turn that into $1 million. But I could turn it into 10, I could turn it into 20, I could turn it into 50, who knows? Just with spot, just with smart investments, just with smart trades, where I'm not risking my whole portfolio on one trade or on 3 or 4 trades. I'm sizing appropriately. And I'm just trying to grow, and I'm trying to get into a position where I can make profits consistently. Small profits consistently over time compound. There's not a lot you can do in 1 year to get really, really rich outside of just blind luck. But how has blind luck been going for you so far? Probably not well. Anyone I know who made a lot of money in a short space of time, they've lost all or most of it because what got them there was taking too much risk. And then they don't know how to stop taking risk. And they get wrecked. So stop thinking about the next 6 months or the next year. Start thinking about the next 10 years. Start thinking about putting money away every month into smart investments or trades. Start thinking about growing $1,000 into $2,000 over the space of a few months or a year. And if you're lucky in a bull market, 1,000, even on spot, can go to 10,000 or even 20. And then once you get from that 20, you can grow it year by year to 40, to 80, to 160, to 250, to 500, to 1 million. That could be 6, 7 years. But that's an actual path you can take. That person, that guy, that hypothetical person who is a lot of people, has spent 3 years to end up with nothing. He could already be at 100, 200, 300k if it was just invested and traded smartly. take the focus away from the market. The people who come in and think they don't have enough money and they're broke and they're from a poor country and they feel like crypto's the only way out, they're putting themselves into a position where the market is going to take their money, because the market doesn't care about you. The market doesn't care about your story. Doesn't care that you grew up in a third world country and that you're poor. The market doesn't care. If you don't treat the market with respect, it's going to take your money. If you treat the market with respect, you can grow your small account into a moderate sized account, into a bigger account, eventually into a big account, and then into more money than you could ever have dreamed of. But it will take years. It starts with education. You're not missing the bull market, because it's not about bull. It's not about bear. There's opportunity all the time, everywhere, in every area of life. It could be investing in crypto this month or this year. It could be stocks after that if crypto goes away or gets less lucrative. You could move on to other things. You could turn $1,000 into $20,000 and then have an idea for a business and then start the business with the 20, and then you hit a profitable business and suddenly you're making 10 grand a month. Then you've got real cash flow. Then you can take the excess and invest that. You have a choice right now. You can either continue doing the same thing that you're doing, which has led to lack of success and losses and a poor mental state, or you can choose to change right now and become somebody who will be a winner over time because they do the right things. That starts in my bootcamp, where I show you how to set yourself up for that success. After that, it's about accepting that you're on a path which is unknown. Like I said, from 16 to 23, I didn't have $2 in my pocket. The most I had in that entire time, maybe I would say the most I ever had was about 10 grand in that whole time frame. Maybe 15. And it was up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I didn't have any consistent stacking cash until I really hit it in sales and started to make a lot of commissions. And if I only had have known then what I know now, I would have been putting away a bit. I'd been putting some on the side every month instead of just spending all my money. I would have been putting some of it aside into some type of investment. Even just like, not crypto back then, but even just the stock market, anything. Putting a portion of my money away and just letting it work for me. And letting it compound. You can't change the past, but you can choose today to start doing the right things for the future.